A new report out today by cybersecurity firm FireEye proves that the Russian government was involved in cyber attacks on NATO, U.S. defense companies, and other governments. This has been going on since 2007. Laura Galante is with me now. She is a manager of threat intelligence at FireEye. It is a first on Fox Business Conversation. So, Laura, welcome. First of all, what did you find?
Yeah, so what we're exposing here in our report is targeting malware tools that hackers use, and then language and geography settings that we think show that the Russian government is engaged in state espionage through computers, through network operations.
Okay, so essentially, if I read the report correctly, it seemed to be that they were targeting firms that had access to sensitive data. That is to say, targeting firms that had access to NATO information, targeting firms that had access to U.S. defense company information, and then targeting companies or systems that basically represented the governments of countries around Russia. Is that right?
Right. A clarification that it's not really companies, it's probably individuals. So, for example, we see military attachés getting targeted, particularly in Eastern European countries, and then also at other diplomatic and military targets across the world.
So how actually did you figure this out?
So we started looking into this malware. It looked so different from the typical Chinese groups that we see. And after we started pulling some threads, the targeting patterns were so distinct behind this group, targeting the Republic of Georgia in the Caucasus, and then Eastern Europe and security organizations, that it started to really put the kind of shivers on your back and start to think, what is this? And as we looked further, the evidence kept mounting, and we thought that we could now conclude this is likely sponsored by the Russian government.
So I heard you made a distinction between Chinese activity and Russian activity, the patterns that you look for to let you know that something's going wrong. So I read a blog post, so this opinion can be worth everything or worth nothing, but what I read was that while China attacks are worth nothing, but what I read was that while China attacks are more frequent on Western targets, the Russian ones are more dangerous. What is your...
Overwhelmingly, the 800-pound gorilla in the room is Chinese data theft going after intellectual property, corporate secrets, at U.S. companies and at global corporations. That's used for economic gains back in China. That's what we believe. Now, on the Russian side, the group that we profile here is focused on state espionage, political and military secrets.
Okay, so it sounds like there's one sort of threat that's more about money and one sort of threat that's more about military information.
Economic gain versus political gain.
All right. Correct. Well put. Laura, thrilled that you're with us. Thank you very much. Laura Galante joining us there. She is a manager at FireEye of Threat Intelligence. So we'll be right back.